This visit is indeed an historic opportunity to celebrate the deep friendship between Canada and Korea, a camaraderie rooted in our shared experience, the strong relations between our nations.
On December 6, 2009, during his visit to the Republic of Korea, Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper spoke in regards to Korean-Canadian relations and praised Dr. Schofield as an exemplary figure during a speech at the Korean National Assembly. Immediately following his speech, Prime Minister Harper visited the burial site of Dr. Frank W. Schofield at the Seoul National Cemetery. Dr. Schofield is the only foreigner to be buried in the Seoul National Cemetery in Korea. He was a Canadian who received the Order of Cultural Merit in 1960 and the Order of Merit for National Foundation in 1968 from Korea. Yet the question remains, who was this Canadian, Frank William Schofield? The Toronto Zoo is the third largest zoo in the world, with 1.3 million visitors annually. On December 1, 2007, a groundbreaking ceremony was held for the construction of a statue and memorial garden in honor of Dr. Schofield. The City of Toronto donated 4 acres of land at the Toronto Zoo for the Dr. Schofield Korean Memorial Garden project.
I'm very proud that we're hosting this garden at the Toronto Zoo. It is so appropriate to honor the memory of Dr. Schofield, his contribution to Korea, by celebrating a contribution from Korea to Toronto.
The Very Reverend Sang Chul Lee was also in attendance to offer a prayer for the groundbreaking ceremony as a respected member of both the Canadian and Korean communities.
Let us pray. Dear God, we are gathered here today to cherish late Frank Schofield, whom you have sent to Korea.
As the representative of the Schofield Memorial Committee from Korea, current Prime Minister Chung Eun-chan was also at the event. While attending the groundbreaking ceremony, he had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Schofield's granddaughter, Lisa Schofield Crawford. Despite the long distance, he attended the ceremony due to the bond he shares as Dr. Schofield's adopted grandchild. The Ontario Veterinary College was established in 1862 and is situated approximately 100 kilometers south of Toronto. Its proud history spans over 148 years, of which Dr. Schofield served as a professor for 38 years.
The reason that I was asked to do the research is because I'm interested in missionary history. And
in November of 2007, a symposium on Dr. Schofield was held for graduate students at the University of Guelph.
Has explained I'm here today to talk about. Became known as the
Surprisingly, a lecture on Dr. Schofield's involvement in Korea's independence movement was also presented. Dr. Schofield was heavily involved in the 1919 independence movement. But exactly how did he become involved? In 1910, Imperial Japan annexed the Korean peninsula and thereby forced Korea to become a colony of the Japanese. In 1916, Dr. Schofield arrived in Korea as a missionary and became a professor at the Severance Medical School. In 1919, there were growing tensions in Korea as rumors circulated regarding the circumstances of King Kojong's death and the alleged Japanese plot to poison the king. As a result, 33 Korean patriots secretly gathered to plan a mass independence movement. They also recognized the importance of having a Declaration of Independence be internationally recognized. Lee Gap-sung, a colleague of Dr. Schofield's at the Severance Medical School, made an appeal to Dr. Schofield for assistance in connecting the Korean movement with the outside world. Dr. Schofield accepted his request. On March 1, 1919, the 33 representatives of the Korean people declared the independence of Korea. Soon, those gathered to support the movement were confronted by the guns and swords of the Japanese police. Dr. Schofield diligently recorded this with his camera. Through the hands of missionaries returning home from Korea, Dr. Schofield was able to notify the world of the Korean struggle for independence. The mass demonstrations resulted in approximately 7,500 casualties and over 16,000 injured. Of those, many lost limbs or faced amputation. Further, the Japanese military turned to drastic measures in an attempt to suppress the Korean movement and discourage further uprisings. In one instance, Japanese soldiers burned down a church in Suwon after having locked 30 men inside. Dr. Schofield's efforts in exposing the world to his eyewitness accounts and photographs ensured that these atrocities would not be lost to history. Dr. Schofield actively participated in the movement despite his ailing body. He often rode a bicycle or used a donkey to travel quickly and avoid the imperial police. Eventually, mounting pressures forced Dr. Schofield to return to Canada. Located near the University of Guelph, Dr. Schofield attended Paisley United Church for over 30 years. He was well liked within the church community and widely respected for his tremendous faith. While in Canada, Dr. Schofield was able to revisit Korea several times.
The gift of new life in Jesus Christ. Amen. You have been generous to us, O God.
It is here that a personal account of Dr. Schofield is given by Mrs. May Potton, who was a fellow congregation member at Paisley United Church.
Well, I think it was just the way he lived. And they knew that he had a strong faith and regularly attended church and was always thinking of others and giving, always giving his share. He was interested in people. He got to know the congregation quite well, and they always wanted to make sure that they spoke to him when he came, that they knew him and he knew them. We were quite proud of him.
And was there any regular seat for Dr. Schofield around
He
here?
usually sat near the back on my side there.
Where?
She even recalls which pew he used to sit in.
And that was his
That
pew.
chair, right?
Yes. It was lame.
He was a devoted patron of the church until 1958, yet he never forgot Korea.